Acolytes. Caudancula. The seal that terrorized our entire island. A menace. A freaking, jumping, rolling, fat menace. And I love it. Because I know about the seal. It's beautiful. Let's hear what the count has to say about it.
Now, we all love animals. They're after all integral to the ecosystem and by extension our well-being. From the food on our plate to the collared little rascal that's halfway up your wall riddled with the zoomies. Point being, we love animals. But today's little yarn is of an animal who doesn't like us very much. His favourite pastime is rocking up to an island community, milling around and being an absolute nuisance to everyone on purpose.
Nice.
While being a big fat chungus. This eventually gained him the status.
Hey. A cute fat chungus. That's very mischievous. By the way, if this fucker would come and block me, I would be mad. This isn't even a question. I'm not defending that fat chungus, but it's an animal, and you don't fuck around with those.
Of an internet micro-celebrity, and he hopped his way into the hearts of an entire country. I know, he's just like me. But not really, we're actually quite different. Because for one, I'm not Australian. Nor am I a micro-celebrity. Frankly, I'm not that famous. But that's enough about me. What is the name of this Antipodean Adonis? His name is Neil. Neil the Seal.
Oh, this is beautiful. I love this. Is yeah. By the way, I'm sure she's gonna mention it, but dude blocked a car for a woman. She couldn't go to the job, and the boss was like, "Oh, okay, good,
Please
makes sense."
leave a like and
a
a comment on this video because it really helps me in the algorithm.
Oh shit!
Why, hello there. It's a beautiful time of year, isn't it? How I love it so. The birds are chirping and the flowers are blooming once more as the cold finally leaves. It's good to just lay back in the encroaching sun and take in the whimsy and serenity of springtime.
Okay, fair enough.
Nothing could possibly make this better, except the presence of a certain someone. That's right. He's back to rescue you from that one bad habit.
Yeah. The thing is about fume, I personally do not smoke acolytes. Never did. So from my personal experience, I cannot say if it works or not. But what I can at least say, I know a lot of people that smoke. And they say that it's better, that it's, well, healthier, that they don't smoke as much. Maybe not specifically fume, but things like fume. And the thing is, I don't think that there is a gigantic difference between those two. But if you actually have problems stopping smoking, stuff like this is definitively better for you from what I know, by the way, from what I know. Just because you will at least smoke less. For most people. Of course not for F's sake. What? At least for most. So, I would say, if you cannot stop smoking, at least get this. Not because I think it's good, but I think that it's the lesser of two evils. And in my INLAF time, I learned that sometimes you just take the lesser evil. But, go on.
On my calls. So you can grab that old vape and make it beg for mercy, because fume is here, and
Beg
it should
for
fear
mercy?
the afterlife. So, if you want to get in this action and finally vanquish that one bad habit, you need only scan the QR code on the screen or go to tryfume.com/Dankula to get your free topper when you order a journey pack. Again,
I don't even know
scan the
what that
QR
is.
code on the screen or go to tryfume.com/Dankula for a free topper when you order your journey pack.
It's for the lips.
Now, sadly, back to the video. Look, all of the videos lately have been extremely depressing or absolutely schizophrenic, so I just wanted a nice little fun one to do to cheer me up and give the channel a little bit of, levity. But anyway, Tasmania, the Apple Island. That little dingly bit off the coast of Australia. Not the other one. The place where the devils are. You all at least kinda know of it. Well, in their capital of Hobart in July in the year of our Lord 2022, locals were met with an outsider, an interloper. This foreign face was unlike that of the usual sort that you would get visiting the small and scenic island community. For you see, instead of a fat mainlander coming to look at the Tasmanian brush and mill around under the guise of returning to nature, it was instead a fat 2-year-old milling around. Well, that's not quite the whole picture, as despite being a 2-year-old, it was not a baby. It was instead a weird fucked up dog thing who was just humping around the streets, being an absolute nuisance. Meet Neil, a chipper and chonky southern elephant seal that for the last few years has been making the streets and shores of Tasmania his new stomping.
And by the way, that's a baby. The fucker is way bigger now. Yeah, that's actually quite disturbing, to be honest.
Ground. Bedazzling the local Tasmanians by being a big blubbery butterball who lies right in the middle of the fucking road, blocking traffic and causing traffic jams, and also humping traffic cones as a hobby. What is particularly noteworthy about Neil, other than being an elephant seal, was his acclamation to humans, being weirdly willing to approach the landlubbers and also be approached in kind, soy-facing and honking with glee at the offering of his beloved traffic cones. Naturally, due to his presence being surprisingly enough quite unusual, Neil quickly became something of a local celebrity, inevitably upgrading to international celebrity when said locals took their phones out to film the cookie bugger just chilling in the middle of the pavement, looking simultaneously uncomfortable yet also completely zen. Though that was during the day, because by night, like a gremlin, he would become a mischievous little shit, doing a spot of trolling alongside his usual shtick. Because he actually ended up scaring the absolute daylights out of one Amber Harris who thought a person was trying to break into her car at 6 in the morning.
He tried to hump it.
It was actually just Neil trying to fuck her car.
Yep.
Yes, really. Then afterwards he tuckered himself out and he fell asleep right in front of it. Really needs to work on his stamina. The funny thing was that even when news cameras showed up to interview her about her experience, the fat bastard was still there, lying right next to her car and fucking sleeping like a maritime Snorlax. And because he was blocking her car, she actually couldn't go to work that day or even leave her house until an offering of media exposure was given unto him. Like a true blue influencer. Now, a couple of questions are probably burning in your...
I love this seal. This seal is such a freaking menace. This is just beautiful to hear. Of course, if it happens to you, you get mad, but for F's sake. The thing is, you just know this seal doesn't do it because of any malicious intent. It probably just thinks that it just plays with people. That's all. Because people are still nice to him. They give him attention. Of course he thinks that's okay. It's an animal after all. Or an animal, not a thinking animal. Let's just say it like this. Of course he thinks it's fine. And it is funny for people who actually look into it. And most people understand that it's an animal. This being just cannot... Well, the positive recreation that he gets is just the thing that he's looking for. He has fun. It's beautiful and annoying at the same time.
In your mind. For one, no, you can't deadlift him. Because this fucking blimp weighs around 600 kilograms. Or, in layman's terms, 100 kilograms heavier than that one weight that made Eddie Hall go Super Saiyan and also have an aneurysm. And yes, you are built different from Big Ed. That is true. But when it comes to shifting that sort of weight, you are almost definitely inferior. Now for the other question. Why? Why in God's name is there a random elephant seal just fanning around in people's front gardens, being weirdly friendly and well acclimated to people alongside, not hanging out in or near water? The sort of place where you'd actually expect to find a fucking elephant seal. Well, the main reason that Neil has come landside is to haul out. This is a thing that elephant seals do that essentially consists of them coming up to the shore for a few weeks, where they then rest, they get some seal pussy, they give birth, and most importantly, they molt. Yeah, they think that the main reason that Neil has come so far inland and why he's humping traffic cones and smearing himself along the sides of fences and cars is because he's trying to scrape the obsolete skin off of his body. And probably feel blissful relief in the process. I know. I only just found out they do that myself. But at least there is a natural reason for Neil's presence in Tasmania. However, as for why he's a lot more sociable than me, and he seems to not have a problem being near humans, I genuinely have no clue. And neither do the sealologists or whatever the fuck they're called. But here's the thing, not only is he not supposed to be this friendly and approachable, but we're not supposed to be either.
Yeah, correctly.
That sounded wrong. Let me explain. You see, eventually the local hippy-dippy buzzkills that we all collectively call marine biologists from the Department of Natural Resources and Environment forgot to give their consent to Neil and the local Tasmanians having a chill Aboriginal nap. Their reasoning was that it was a risk to the health and well-being of both Neil and the locals. Despite being massive losers who all clearly enjoyed the Grinch movies for all the wrong reasons, they did have somewhat of a point. See, despite the fact that he is a chill guy, Neil is still a young elephant seal who weighs over half a metric ton. And as such, if he were to get spooked by people getting too close to him, things could very, very quickly turn very, very bad.
Yep.
Look, I get that he seems friendly. I get that he looks like a great big chunky cutie patootie, but at the end of the day, that is 600 kilograms of wild animal that will fucking kill you if it feels threatened.
Yep.
And that's not even getting into the potential diseases that humans could maybe pass on to him. So when there were reports of people waddling up to him...
Yeah, at the end of the day, he is correct. You just cannot do this. It's a wild animal. But for F's sake, he's so cute. So lovable. You just don't get the chance of a wild animal actually approaching you, and you can pet it. Especially a cute one like that. Damn.
To get a selfie with him and prodding him and even throwing things at him, it's honestly fair enough that they had to get involved.
Yeah.
Even despite being massive busybodies, the community themselves also stepped up and tried to promote a minimum safe distance of 10 metres. But with bad actors and people's dogs being a little bit too excitable, that was all for naught. So, of course, when the state steps in to be stately about things, including giving out fines for anyone who goes near him or tries to appease him with his favourite traffic cones, it ended up being a harsh measure that did little more than Streisand affect Neil into even bigger stardom. So, eventually, the government basically went, fuck it, and moved Neil to a secluded stretch of beach where he would be able to molt, mould, and malinger in peace. Away from the public, and most importantly, away from people's fences, cars, and traffic cones. So, where is he now? Well, he's a seal, so I've got no fucking idea. I'm not his dad. However, apparently he's being tracked by the Department of Natural Resources and Environment to make sure he doesn't veer too close to Hobart again. They put the fucking seal on parole. He's on a tag. So, why did I make this video? Well, simply put, I saw the videos of Neil and I thought that it was a fascinating look at how, out of the blue, some random backstreets in Tasmania became host to a 600-kilogram elephant seal, and people were not only just kind of fine with it, but they also turned around and embraced him beyond an opportunity for just a quick selfie. He has actual fans who run social media accounts as him, including a TikTok with 214,000 followers. It's extremely cringe behaviour, I know. However, it goes to show how quickly and how passionately he was adopted into said community as a weird mascot of sorts. I'm also on TikTok now, by the way. I know, I'm sorry. Also, to be quite honest,
It makes sense. TikTok is a large thing, and at some point, if I wasn't so lazy, I would also have shorts and upload them there. Except for Instagram. F Instagram. Why Instagram? Because they instantly ban me for no reason. So F them.
frankly kinda jealous of him. He's literally living my dream. I wish I was able to just sleep all day and scream at people. I wish people would just give me random pieces of plastic for me to dry hump until it breaks. Neil is my spirit animal. I wish I was him. That should have been me.
Yeah, the envy. Yeah. Oh, Neil the Seal. Yeah, at the end of the day, it's just understandable that people just went away with him, and that they actually, because people are finding like that. This is something new. Not everybody can do this with Neil the Seal. Not everybody can go near him. It's partially a status thing where if you did it well before it got banned, well, your status rises because you did something that not everybody can do. And Neil was just friendly. That's also a point of it. If he was just friendly, he didn't do anything. He didn't get out of his way to actually harm people on purpose. Yes, I'm sure that there were some things, but you just don't approach a fucking wild animal. And if anything I learned over my own lifetime is one thing. People are stupid enough to actually jump into cages with animals, so this effort won't be any exception. People will go in and get harmed. But, as it is, good night, Acolyte.